Stories That Live on Podcast, because great stories never die.
Welcome to Stories That Live on Podcast. I'm your host, Owen Wynn. A quick reminder before we begin, this is not a real conversation, but an AI reimagining built from history and research. Our guest today is one of the greatest minds in human history, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo, welcome to the show. It's surreal to even say that out loud, to sit here across from you, a figure whose name has echoed through centuries, and now to share a conversation that bridges past and present.
The honor is mine. Time, it's like a great canvas we all share. Each of us adds a brush stroke, some bold, some faint, and together those strokes become something larger than any one of us. Every moment, every choice adds its color.
Your name alone brings to mind the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, the Vitruvian Man, but also inventions, secret journals, and endless curiosity. Tonight, I'd like us to explore not just your art, but your life, your beginnings, your passions, your struggles. Let's open this journey together.
Let's start from your childhood. You were born in Vinci, Tuscany, outside of wedlock. How did that shape you?
Yes, indeed. My father was a notary, in today's terms, something like a lawyer. My mother, a peasant woman. Because of my birth, I could not inherit titles or enter certain schools. Some called me an outsider. But perhaps this was freedom, for I belonged to no world, and so I studied them all. As a boy, I filled my hands with clay, feathers, stones, even lizards. Every object whispered secrets of creation. It's beautiful.
That's incredible! Even then you were piecing together nature's puzzle? Long before you were known as a master. And how did you even learn to read and write with such limits?
At first I learned very little. I copied scraps of paper from the market, from books I found, practiced writing by hand, and taught myself through observation. I remember watching birds take flight, tracing their movements with my fingers in the air, trying to understand how their wings worked. I spent hours doing this, observing how the wind pushed them up and how they shifted their wings to glide. I learned by absorbing everything, from nature to the streets of Vinci. Later in Florence, tutors provided guidance, but so much of my progress came from persistence. I would read anything I could get my hands on. I soaked in knowledge from every corner. Writing allowed me to capture what I learned, to make sense of the world in my own way. But drawing was where I truly breathed life into the world I observed. It became my language for understanding and expressing the world around me, whether it was the way water curled or the way light struck a face.
Tell me about a drawing you loved most, one that mattered to you personally.
There was a child I sketched once, asleep, his tiny hand curled like a shell. Innocence is harder to capture than power, for it vanishes quickly. That sketch, though simple, filled me with joy. In it I saw humanity, fragile and eternal. I remember as I drew, my other hand was writing notes about the play of light and shadow in the room. It was natural to me to write and draw at the same time.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say you could draw and write at the same time?
Yes, of course. My left hand sketched while my right hand wrote. To me, it was simply a way of capturing twice as much of the world before it slipped away. Few believe it, but to me it felt as natural as breathing.
That's unbelievable. No wonder your secret journals hold so much. You weren't just recording one thought at a time. You were doubling it.
Indeed, The world moves quickly. I wished to follow it with both hands, lest any detail escape me.
That's beautiful. And yet you also went where few dared, opening the human body itself. Was that for science or for art?
Both. When I painted the Last Supper, every gesture was born of anatomy, surprise, betrayal, love. Art was my science, science my art. Each line I drew was both a question and an answer. Yes, I was accused, even jailed, but I sought only to understand the architecture of life. I drew the heart, the fetus, the brain, not in defiance, but in reverence.
Even late in life, you were still filling journals. Why push yourself so relentlessly?
Because curiosity never rests. In my 60s, my journals overflowed with clouds, fossils, planets, laughter, sorrow. I always believed learning never exhausts the mind. It only feeds it.
Leonardo, many know you for the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, and the Vitruvian Man. But it's also said you left many projects unfinished. Why was that?
My curse was that my eyes always saw further than my hands could reach. I began many works, but curiosity pulled me onward before my brush could finish its journey. In Florence I was commissioned to paint the Adoration of the Magi, a grand scene of kings and angels. Yet I left it unfinished, distracted by studies of flight. In Milan, I promised a colossal bronze horse, the largest ever cast. I built the model, yes, but war melted the bronze into cannons before it could be poured. My mind was a river with too many tributaries, always flowing elsewhere.
That image, a river with too many tributaries, that's powerful. Do you consider those unfinished works failures?
Some would say failures. Yes, but I do not. Each unfinished work was a seed. The Adoration taught me of human expression, though the painting was never complete. The bronze horse taught engineers who came after me how such casting might be done. What matters is that I sought, for the seeking is what gives life.
Looking back now, do you regret leaving so many works incomplete?
Regret, perhaps. I wished to do more, always more. But life is short, and curiosity endless. I left behind fragments, yes, but fragments that still speak. If others call me unfinished, then I say, so is the world itself.
That's profound. It sounds like your restlessness was both your gift and your burden. In today's world, we'd call that both genius and perfectionism, a blessing and a curse rolled into one.
Indeed, restlessness is the shadow of curiosity, and yet I would not trade it, for it gave me the world.
Leonardo, near the end of your life, you lived in France under King Francis I. What stayed with you most in those years?
Francis treated me not as a servant, but as a friend. My hands grew weak, yet my mind still wandered. I often feared I had left too much unfinished, but I realized even fragments can light the way for others.
Do you regret not completing more?
Perhaps, but life is never complete. We are all unfinished works. What matters is not perfection, but the courage to keep seeking.
If you walked among us now, what would you want to tell us today?
Do not be afraid of curiosity. It is the fire that moves the world. Look closely at a leaf, at a storm, at a child's laughter. There you will find invention. Combine art with science, reason with wonder, and create boldly. For every step forward, no matter how small, adds to humanity's great journey.
What an incredible conversation. Leonardo, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us across time itself. And to our listeners, may his words remind us that curiosity is timeless and that each of us holds a brushstroke in the masterpiece of humanity. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, stay tuned, and join us again. We'll have another great guest coming next, and I promise it's going to be inspiring. Until next time, this is Stories That Live On podcast.
Stories That Live On podcast, because great stories never die.